Has it been a little while since we've had a Cadillac video? Yeah, it's been a little while. So today, we're going to do a couple little things. The last time I drove it... Oh, Chop. There's Chop. Chopstick, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hi, buddy. What are you thinking about? Give me a high five. Good job. Good job. And there's Nudo. She could care less. Chop wants pet though. Plomp, plomp, plomp. The last time I drove it, whenever I would start it up, there was a plume of white smoke coming out the back, and it wasn't coolant. I know it wasn't oil. It wouldn't happen all the time. It happened pretty much intermittent. And I was checking fluids the other day, and I found out that my master cylinder was low. So under the hood right here, you can see here's the brake master cylinder. I had this rebuilt probably 5 years ago. I've since filled it up, so you can see the fluid level in there. It's full. So I'm thinking that my issue has to be somehow there's fluid getting from the master cylinder through the booster and then through this vacuum hose into the intake. So I'm going to see if I can't somehow reproduce vacuum onto the booster and see if I can't get any brake fluid out of it. So I have a vacuum bleeder. I don't see why that wouldn't work. And we're going to hook it up and we're going to see if we can't reproduce it. Now I have a kit to rebuild this, and we'll see if I can get to that. I don't want to rebuild it if I don't have to. So we'll see if that works. So this is the only way I could figure out how to potentially test this master cylinder. The problem is, I mean, the tube that goes from the booster to the intake isn't clear. You know, I can't see if it's sucking fluid. All I know is I'm losing fluid, and I'm not losing it on any of the other brake parts all around the car. The back of all my tires are dry. All the brake lines are dry. I've checked everything, so it has to be getting sucked in the engine somehow. So I have this brake bleeder hooked up to the hose on the back of the booster, and what I plan on doing is I plan on basically it runs off of compressed air, and it will suck. It's supposed to suck brake fluid, but it's going to suck air at this point. And I'm going to go press on the gas and see, or excuse me, press on the brake, see if I can get any form of liquid at all out of it. I mean, it's kind of a shot in the dark, but I mean, what I don't want to happen is driving down the road and then this goes dry on me. I don't want that to happen. So let's see what happens. Well, I didn't see anything come through that tube. I don't know. I don't know what's the deal with it. So we're gonna keep running it for now. What I'll probably do is add checking brake fluid to the list of things that I need to check before I start the car or run the car. So the next thing I want to do is check something that most cars don't have. So the bottom of the oil pump there is basically a vacuum pump, and so what that does is create extra vacuum so your vacuum wipers will still work when the car is under load. That's the idea, at least. And what I believe is happening is there's a check valve on that part. It's down underneath the engine. Here's a picture of it. It's on the side of the block, and it sucks oil when the check valve goes bad. And if you look at these spark plugs, you can see that all of them look decent except for, you know, one or two in the middle banks. And I'm thinking this engine is sucking oil while it's running because this check valve has gone bad. And so I'm going to block that off, and basically I'll have wipers that don't work as well, but at least I won't be burning as much oil. Hopefully, that's the idea. Another interesting thing is I had checked all these vacuum hoses that, you know, tee off to the to run the wiper and washer, and most of them were really, really loose on these tees. So I replaced those and actually found quite a substantial vacuum leak that I did not know about. So that has been addressed. And I'm hoping that this vacuum hose from a Corvette, even though it runs underneath the intake, that it will work just a little bit better. Another thing I've done is I have changed the distributor vacuum advance from being from ported to manifold vacuum, which is good because hopefully the engine will run just a little bit better that way. But other than that, really not much. Not much has happened on the old Caddy. So I'm going to hook the brake booster hose back up, and then we can start it up and see how it runs. So if you look back in the back, right there, you see that tube right there? So that tube comes from the bottom of the block, runs up the back, and then it connects to the T, four-way T right here. So I'm just going to put these bolts in the hose. For now, I ran out of the little boots that you put on, you know, unused ports like this. I will get those eventually, but this is just a temporary measure to see if it makes any kind of difference at all. So now that we have the brake line hopefully figured out and that capped off, the next thing I want to do is I want to start it. I want to let it get warm, and then we're going to do a few carburetor adjustments on it. I haven't adjusted it since the engine was basically started, and I feel like with the vacuum leaks now taken care of, I should be able to make it run just a little bit better. So hopefully we have enough battery in order to start the car. So a lot of times when I go to start this car, if I haven't started it in months and months, it takes quite a bit of time for the fuel pump to actually fill the bowls in the carburetor. I don't think it's been that long this time, so we'll see what happens. Wants to. We really didn't have a puff of smoke that time that I could see. This exhaust leak, I can't ever get rid of it. I've tried shaving down the manifold. I've removed the gaskets on this side. I'm pretty sure it's an exhaust leak. While the engine is warming up, the first thing I want to do is check timing. So, if you look down there, you can see that little pointer. It's supposed to point at the A line. So we're pretty close. I don't think it really needs moving much. So now I can see with this light, I have a tack on it as well. We're idling about 860 or so. So that's 850 is a good idle for this car. But what I want to do is I've also unplugged the vacuum advance to check that. So what I want to do is check for vacuum leaks, poke around for that, and then adjust the idle mixture screws just a little bit on the carburetor. Well, the engine's hot. It's still cold outside. I don't know how much of that condensation is condensation. I don't know what burnt brake fluid smells like. I guess we can check under the hood one more time. it looks about the same. So we're gonna go drive it around the block, and I'm hoping with the vacuum leak gone, a little bit of tuning, and new plugs and wires last time. Transmission, of course, still wants to whine, always does. Once it warms up, it gets much better though. That's not good. You guys see what I see? You see that? Yep, those are my tools chilling on the trunk. But luckily, my Cadillac is fancy pants, and I have my automatic trunk opener, so I don't have to turn my car off to get my trunk. Whoops. It's a mess in here, that's for sure. Sounds good. Isn't that crazy, the sound this makes? Yeah, lots of condensation. That's the reason why these exhausts like to rust out on the flip up to the bumper. It comes down like this, and then it goes whoop and out. And that's why they like to rust out. It's all that condensation. So we'll drive it around, bring it back home. Oh. So the exhaust leak is a lot less. That's good. Still pulls to the right a little bit. My Speedo is loud. You see that? That's on the list as well. Lube up that cable or replace it. I think I have a replacement actually. Just it's a pain in the butt to do. I think the engine's a little peppier because I fixed the vacuum leak. It runs a little bit smoother. But again, this car needs exercise. It doesn't get driven enough, sadly. And it's all my fault, I know. So, quick thing. You see this door lock button right here? It would rattle around. There's supposed to be a little plastic thing that goes around it. It'd rattle around when I would drive and make a really loud noise. It's something that really bugged me. So I took a piece of electrical tape and wrapped the base, and it doesn't make that noise anymore. The funny thing is, now that I can't hear that noise, I can hear other noises. So it's just, you know, it's chasing little noises. Alright. So let's see. Get over here, sit at the stoplight. I've had it before where, you know, I'd sit with my foot on the brake holding the car and it would kind of chug. I don't feel like it's doing it as much as it used to. I think because of the vacuum leak. I'm trying to get it to smoke and it doesn't want to do it, which is good, I guess. I don't know how long of a drive it needs to have to actually start sucking down brake fluid. I just don't know. I don't want to unhook it because I like the power brakes on the car. So I think the issue I have with the wind noise is I did replace this rubber seal right here, but I'm guessing maybe it doesn't go up all the way to the top, or it doesn't seal well enough against this seal, which I have also replaced, and that's where the wind noise is coming from. But there is also an audible gap right here, and I don't know if they're supposed to be. That's supposed to be more like this. So I know wind's, getting in here. It does that. Somewhat on this side. It's kind of strange. And there's a screw hole here. I don't know what that's supposed to hold the weather stripping in, but anyway, I don't know if this is the right stuff. I mean, just you get it from Rock Auto, and who knows, it really fits. So I'm not too worried about that. I think I might do the Speedo cable today, just to see if I can get that to sound a little bit better. One less thing. It really doesn't happen in the warm months. It's mostly the cold, but might as well do it now. So the speedometer cable isn't too hard of a job. You can see, let's see, it just runs from there and just kind of hooks into the back of the cluster just like that. I believe there's a grommet underneath this floor mat that I'll have to get to, but it should just pull right out and we should be able to put the new one in. After that we can work on the top to see what that looks like. Well, it looks like I have no grommet. That could be a reason why I get so much road noise in the car. There's no grommet there. But something I want to show you guys over here. Any of you guys know what this is, put it in the comments. It's not my bright switch. Let me know. I'm sure I've showed it before, but if you don't know, go in the other videos and look. I put the car on jack stands, and you can see it coming out of that hole right there. And it goes into a clip, and it snakes its way above the frame all the way to the back of the transmission. It looks like it's a pretty simple job. I kind of wish I had not driven the car before I did it, because everything's hot, but luckily stuff will cool off pretty quickly. Let's get this out and then compare cables. Here's my old one versus my new one. They look very, very similar, the same length. I actually spun the old one, and it spins pretty good and doesn't seem to make much noise, so I already bought it. But I think I wasted my money, because A, I probably could have lubed the old cable, or B, it's probably the stuff inside of the cluster that's making the noise. But we'll put it in, I have it, and we'll see if it makes any kind of difference at all. Alright, new cable is in. Let's take her for a spin. Alright. So far, so good. We'll get it up a little faster and see if it makes the noise. Also, the speedometer needle would stick sometimes when it was cold out. I'm wondering if I fix that too. It would stick, and then once it got to a certain speed, once it slowed down to a certain speed, it would then pop back to 20 or whatever it was. I don't hear any noise. See what happens when I slow down. Yeah, it goes down. That's good. Well, that'll be it for this video. So we got the speedometer cable fixed. We fixed some vacuum leaks. We tuned it up just a little bit. Little things, but hey, it's definitely more enjoyable to drive without little noises everywhere. So I'll probably give it a bath, but Chopstick, can you say bye-bye to everybody? Oh, that sounded like Chewbacca. Are you Chewbacca? Make some Chewbacca noises. Hi, buddy.